Hello there, I'm Jimmy Vegas. This is how to create a hyper-casual game in Unity, and welcome to episode 21. In this tutorial, we are going to take a look at something called player prefs, which will allow us to save and load our score. Don't forget, click the subscribe button and click the bell icon as well to stay up to date with every tutorial that I upload on my channel on video game development. There's always loads to see, learn and do. And if you've enjoyed this series so far, please feel free to check me out on Patreon or YouTube memberships, where you get things like early access, exclusive content, project files, and so much more. With that in mind, let's get to work. So last tutorial, at the end, we had that little bug where the score would not reset. And I said that brings us nicely into what we're doing here, because that effectively has saved the score that we had last time. So what we're going to have to do is modify some of our script and also add in some new elements. So let's actually start with those new elements. If we go to our canvas and if we go to where we have our splash background, remember that's always at the back, and we have all these other things here which tell us our score and whatever else. What I'm actually going to do is turn on final score. And I am going to reduce the font size to, let's say, probably, well, a lot smaller than that. So let's say 16. And I'm going to have this as last score. I'll have it as 0 by default. Actually, no, I shouldn't have done that. I should have actually duplicated it. Turn off final score. I'm going to put this final score just below game logo. And then I'm going to put last score 0. And I guess you can have this as high score if you want to. It's just one line of code different, but I'll let you know what to do. And let's change this to say last score. And again, let's shrink that down and let's have it in the top right. Zero out the position a little bit so we can see it's up there. So we'll have that about there. Let's turn that off. So how do we get this to display our last score? Well, easiest thing to do is if we go into our scripts where we have crashed. So in, is it general and crash mech? So if we go into that script where we transfer our score over to here, so we can display the final score. What we do also need to do is we need to say that this is then equal to 0 after we have displayed that final score. So basically what that means is when we reset the game, it ends up back at 0. But before doing that, we also need to somewhat semi-permanently save that score. And what we can actually do is before we reset it to 0 is have something called player prefs dot set int, and in there we are going to have something that we know is going to be sensibly named. So in quotes we need to name it something very sensible. So last score, and it can be absolutely anything you want. Just any letters, anything at all, type in there as long as you remember what that is. And then comma, and then score cube monitor dot score num close bracket semicolon. And what that will do is it will store the value of whatever is in this variable into this player pref. A player pref is just basically a way of storing information, not externally, but kind of externally. It's a way of Unity being able to remember something after the application has closed. So for example, when we start this now, last score is going to be equal to 0 no matter what, because there's no record of it. As soon as we run this line of code, it's going to remember last score is now equal to that number. So we can use that to our advantage to basically say, yep, this is our last score, and we can bring that back up and display it on screen. So now we have that line in there to say that's what we're going to save the score as. We now need to create a quick little script which will allow us to display that score on that last score object. So let's go to our UI in scripts, right click, create C# script, and we'll call this last score display. And let's bring that into Visual Studio. So first thing we're going to want to do is add in a namespace to say using Unity engine .ui, because we're going to be dealing with those UI elements once again. We can get rid of void update and the annotations because we do not need those. We do, however, need a variable. Variable is going to be the display on our screen. So public game object, and we'll have this as last score. And I think I'm also going to have an internal version of that player pref as well, just so we can see it in our inspector panel. So public int, and we'll have last score value semicolon. So that now means that we can say last score value is equal to player prefs dot get int, so not set because we're getting, and all we need to do is type in the name that we created in the other script. So in Crash Mech, where we have last score, I always like to copy them just in case of any typos, because if you type that wrong, like one little bit, if you accidentally put 2 R's in there or something, it's not going to work because it doesn't recognize the exact naming convention. So just make sure that you do name it correctly. At this point, last score value is now equal to whatever is in that player pref. So let's say 600 is in that player pref. That is now equal to 600, which means that we can then display that on screen quite easily by going last score dot get component, and in spiky brackets text open close bracket dot text equals, and then we're going to put last score, and we'll have it as space, obviously because we want the space between that and the number, and then plus last score value semicolon, and save. So let's head back into Unity, and we just need to add that last score display script to our global scripts there. If Unity wants to drag it on there we go. And we just need to add it down here. So last score is there. Now last score won't currently display simply because we need to change the CA3D begins. So let's get that sequence working as well. So we need to add that as a variable in CA3D begins. Public game object last score semicolon. So when we have this startup routine, after we've displayed it, let's also have that last score dot set active true semicolon. Now if you want to keep it on screen, you wouldn't put any other lines in this. If you want to get rid of it like I'm going to, then you would put the extra line here. Last score dot set active false, and save. Like I say, you don't have to do that. You can keep it on screen if you want to. You would just not have that in there. Maybe a little bit of change to the UI elements of it to make it white or something. You might need to do that. But yeah, either way, this should work. So let's give this a try. We should have got rid of that bug where it brings our score over. And we should also see last score 0 up here. Oh, we did not set the variable, of course. That probably would help. There it is, last score. So let's try that again. Last score should display up here as 0, like I say. Excellent. So now let's begin. Let's try and get some kind of score. Oh, I kind of hit that a bit early. Okay, so final score of 10. That's all good. We've reset, and this should say last score 10. It does. So score 0, reset. Excellent. We've sorted that little bug. Let's try and get a better score. Okay, cool. Final score 30. It should reset. And there we go. Final score 30. So if I stop this now, so game has completely stopped. It's as though we've closed our app. We're not doing any more. If we press play again, like we've restarted our app, we should see that our last score was indeed 30. So we've now found a way to enable ourselves to bring up a score that we've previously had and display it. So if you want to have your best score shown on Crash Mech, all you need to do is use the same way of bringing in a get integer. So last score equals playprefs.getIn. So you need to bring this one in here and check if your current score is greater or less than it. So really it's just an if statement to say if it's greater than the score, then save it. If not, then don't bother. So it's as simple as that. I think realistically, the best thing to do with this is probably do both. I mean, ultimately at this point, you guys should be able to kind of work out how to do that anyway, because we've come quite a long way in this series. I mean, we're in tutorial number 21 already. So if not, let me know in the comments and we'll see what we can do. I might actually pin that version. I kind of like last score because I feel having a high score always makes you think that you've done so well, and then, oh, I can't beat that, and then you stop playing the game because you can just never beat that score that you've got. So I was kind of like last score. So at this point, we've got the whole cycle of both of these hyper-casual games pretty much in place. There are just a couple of other things that I do want to deal with, especially with this particular game. So I do kind of like how this plays, and I would really love to see how smooth your games are at this point, how well you've done this game. So I'm just going to take a couple of seconds and just admire my terrible work. So one thing that stands out to me more than anything is the speed doesn't increase. So I think we should probably do that next tutorial. I'm thinking that we should add an element of difficulty, because if we don't, it's just going to be the same infinite kind of thing. So next tutorial, what we're going to do is let's add in that crash sound effect as well, like a thud or something into the blocks. I want to add that in. I did mean to add it in, I think, last tutorial, but let's add it in next. And let's also add that element of difficulty and add some speed to our movement. So guys, until the next tutorial, please let me see how you've got on with this. Link me to your videos, your projects, whatever. I'd love to see it. And I will see you in the next tutorial. Guys, thank you so much for watching.